you hoping for a single federal standard? Are you concerned about states maybe going their own way, California having something of a track record in this regard? Are you talking to legislators and regulators now about these technologies, and how will they be regulated? I'm just sort of curious about that.
Yeah, well, from the U.S. perspective, we as a Continental company, we recommend or we show what is possible. We don't force any legislation to go in this direction or that direction. That's our job as a supplier. So the legislation, if it will be on a state level and how it will go on a state level or on a federal level, is something we do not influence.
So many of your dealers in the United States and Europe are wedded to the whole traditional romance of driving. Boom, 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 the room, exhaust note, how it feels, and you control on the road. As a matter of fact, I was working on a book looking at these advances, and increasingly across the United States, if we talk to dealers about it, they are afraid of it because they somehow believe that if you eliminate the human control of the intimate human interaction with the vehicle, that you remove key marketing points for them.
Yeah, but I think Helmut's already said it very important that the automated driving doesn't mean that you're giving up the control. Let's remember that we're still in the infant phase of this whole technology. So I think there's a lot of misperception that automated driving means the car is automated and full stop. But as I said, as Elma said, it'll go from partially to highly to fully. But even in the fully phase, as Helmut just said, we will give the driver the control. It's the choice of the driver to say, now I'm going from Detroit to Chicago, and for whatever reason, I want to be in a fully automated mode to do something else. For example, as Alma said, prepare.
So there's the element of choice.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and then you can choose while you're driving. I don't know, after half an hour later, if you're done with your planning of your vacation, now I want to take over manually, then you can go back and choose manually. So I think that's the important message, that the driver is in the position of the choice.
Thank you.
And there's one more thing which is important here. It's not a question if we will bring internet functionality into the vehicles. It's only a question in which way are we doing this and how fast are we doing this. Because if we don't provide, especially the younger generation, this functionality, they will use it in an uncontrolled and very unsafe manner. Okay, so we will do this, and the big difference is, in the past, the vehicle was an isolated room to the outside, and functions were controlled inside the vehicle. Now we are extending the borderlines, and all of a sudden, the vehicle is heavily interfering with the outside world in terms of information exchange. And our task as experts is to find ways to give the drivers more freedom. Always the driver is in charge to make the decision, and to have a multitude on new capabilities, how to use your time inside the vehicle.
Do you see in your surveys that younger people are less interested in self-driving?
That's true for young people who are growing up in cities, especially, yes. The surveys have a different result if you're going to the countryside. And that will trigger also that we will see, and that's our belief, in the future, vehicles which are designed more to the purpose of city driving or driving across bigger distances, for example. So vehicles which are designed in a way which fits specific purposes more than we see today.
Just one additional comment on that, Elmar. The acceptance is possibly much faster with the younger generation on that, to deal with that, but we should not forget the older generation, where we have possibly issues with the eyes or the reaction time, So these driver assistance systems which help to support or automate the driving definitely supports older generation, where we have also not only here but possibly as well in Europe and other regions lots of discussions. What is the limit age until you can drive? Of course we are saying there is no limit. You should drive up to 100 or plus.
In France, the French traffic safety accident study people have looked at autonomous driving, and they say that the critical question there is what you were talking about earlier, about that moment when you must transfer from automation to a complex, dangerous situation. The driver's been on his iPad or whatever, looking at something else, and suddenly there's a problem. What's the current thinking of how to do this HMI transfer in this critical situation?
So the work on these HMI activities is still on the beginning. In a first activity, we work on reduction of driver distraction in a stronger manner. And here we especially do investigation with what we call a driver focus vehicle. And this is where we have investigated in that vehicle a ring as an LED strip, what we call a halo effect. And what we are doing there is that we look with an interior camera, where are the eyes of a driver, where is the problem, and then we catch the attraction that we start with that halo information to take the LEDs and move the driver with that ring according to where the source of the issue is. So with that we are helping to reduce the distraction. When we look on these effects, as we spoke, from partially, highly and fully automated driving, then it will be that for partially automated driving, these are things in low velocity, like stop and go traffic, where we say in this early phase around 2016, a driver has to constantly monitor what is out about. And then subsequently, we look forward that then an HMI in outer years is then informing a driver where it is good to go the automatic mode, or informing the driver now it is better to switch to the manual mode. And this will be enhanced time over time as we experience all those systems. And this first R&D work, what we are doing, showing that there is very interesting future on HMI development.